So recently there's been a surge of this type of products. They're everywhere. There's different brands and a lot of YouTubers have even been sponsored them. So I decided to test this one out. I saw it on a sponsored video from Austin Evans. Complete disclosure with you guys, this is not a sponsored video. I haven't been paid a single dime, which would be nice once in a while, but no, this is not the case. I just talked to the brand. They agreed to send me a unit so I could test it out and give you my honest opinion. The brand is called Ecoflow. There's tons of other brands, but they're basically the same. But what actually piqued my interest in this one was something different than not all brands offer. But first, let's start by telling you guys exactly what these things are. Essentially, they're huge power banks. What you do is you charge them, you connect them to an electric output, and once you disconnect them from the electric output, you can connect anything to them. They're completely wireless as long as they're completely charged. It's like a huge power bank, a huge battery you can take anywhere. Although they're pretty heavy, they're not that portable, and they have a different purpose than a power bank. The one I have right here is the River Pro 2 and has 4 traditional electric outputs like what you find in your house where you connect your TV, your fridge, or whatever you use. You also have 3 USB-A ports, which I would have liked a little bit more of Type-C, but okay, I understand. Some people still use USB-A on 2025 because yeah, we're close to the end of the year. But you do get an additional USB Type-C port, so only one of them. It also has an LCD panel that tells you anything you need to know from the unit, like how much it's going to take to charge, how much battery it has left, or how many hours are still left inside the battery according to what you have plugged into it, which is pretty nice. But that's not the best part. And after what I'm about to tell you, I'm sure you're not even going to use that LCD panel. But first, how do you charge this thing? Well, there's actually 3 ways. You can connect it straight to an output like you would do any other device. It comes with a cord included once you buy it. There's also another cable that comes inside the box, which is actually a lighter cable like you would find in cars before. Remember the cars used to have a lighter inside? Well, now it's just an output. That round thing you have in your car, well, that's where you can charge it. It takes way longer if you charge it into an electric output, but I can actually see the scenario where you want that. And take advantage for what you're using your gas for, because it won't consume additional gasoline. It won't consume any electrical thing inside your car, because everything inside the car is actually created from the gas you're running. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And the third option, which is very interesting, is that you can actually connect solar panels to it. There are different solar panels on the market. Obviously, this brand sells its own solar panels, and they recommend you use those, obviously. But I can understand also why, because they do have a pair that are certified for 200 watts, which means you can charge this with solar energy for about 200 watts. The solar panels are sold separately. They don't come with the unit I have, but it's a lot more expensive than if you were to purchase the unit on its own. Okay, so huge battery charges things, and what's the purpose of it? Okay, first of all, let's talk about charging speeds. Charging speeds on these things are pretty cool. If you're using it wirelessly, you can charge anything up to 800 watts. Whatever you start plugging into it, it's going to start consuming those 800 watts you have available. So maybe you connect one cell phone, it's only going to take about 50 watts. So you have 750 watts available. If you do exceed the 800 watt capability, it will only say overdrive and it will stop charging. It's not like it's going to explode, it's not going to go bad, nothing's going to happen to it, you just won't be able to use it. You can get more wattage from it, but it kind of loses the purpose of what this thing is. You can connect it straight into the output and get something called XBoost, and once you get XBoost, you can get about 1600 watts, which is a lot, and you can connect a lot more things to it, but you do need to be connected to an output. So it's a nice feature to have, but it's not the main purpose of this unit. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's something special that this does that not every other product of this type does, and that is having an app. And that's what I saw in the Austin Evans video, which actually piqued my attention. And I said, why would you want an app on something like this? And it's actually pretty cool. First of all, you can update the firmware, which is always something you want on any type of tech product, which is good. You can also control certain things on it that I didn't expect. The charging speeds on this thing are crazy. You can charge it up to 940 watts of speed. You can charge the whole unit from 0 to 100 in about an hour. That's insane. I've tried other products from Bluetti and other brands that are out there that take about 4 to 5 hours. This thing takes only 1 hour. And the cool part about the app is you can actually control how fast you want it to charge. Why would you want to control that? Well, in case you live somewhere where there's too much heat, well, the battery starts getting warmer the faster it gets charged. So that's something you might want to regulate in case you want to avoid any type of risk, or also getting better durability out of this thing. So I understand why you would have that. It's a nice little feature you have inside the app. But you can also connect it to Wi-Fi, which is very practical. You can see everything on it. You can see how much you're outputting, how much you're inputting. You can also control it remotely, decide what ports you want on, which ones you want off. You can control it from outside your house because it does connect straight to the internet. And if you're not inside your house and you're taking it outdoors, you can also connect the smartphone to the unit through Bluetooth and use all the functions inside the app. That is very, very cool and something I would not expect. So essentially it becomes a power bank, smart plug, power plant. I mean, it does everything inside the app and becomes very practical. If you're gonna have it somewhere where you're not gonna start moving it or really not use it that much, well, you can use the app to control it remotely, and that way you don't have to bend down and carry the thing that's actually pretty heavy. So do I recommend having one of these things around? I do recommend having them because I do think you can use them in case of emergencies. They're great for going outdoors. If you like camping, I think these are a must. You're gonna get a lot of use out of them and probably gonna save your life more than once. But also, depending where you live, it can also help you save money on electricity. For example, I live here in Mexico City. Mexico City has a funny thing. Depending on the hour of the day, electricity costs more or less. So if it's 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., the kilowatt rate is higher. So when that time comes, well, I can use this thing I actually charged previously during low rate and getting lower rates from electricity, and that way not paying the higher rate even though I still need to use it. So you can understand what I mean there. So it's a nice thing to have around, and I actually like it quite a bit. There's still a couple of caveats. For example, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I'm gonna start using it daily to see how much we can get out of it. They're not cheap, they're pretty expensive. Depending where you live, it's gonna be from $500 to $600 for this unit. There are bigger ones, there are ones that have the solar panels included, and there are also other brands, but more or less from $500 above. So they're definitely way more expensive than a traditional power bank. But I can understand why, and I can understand some people can find the use for paying that amount of money. But obviously, it's not for everybody. In case you're interested in buying one of these things, well, I will actually put a link down below in the description where you can find it. Yes, it's an affiliate link, but it won't cost you anything else, and you help a brother, well, quite a bit. Also, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like if you liked the video, and check out this video over here I think you might like.